All right, now let's solve each equation in these simple equations for x. We're not going to do part B because it's a logarithmic equation. I don't want to focus on those just yet. So if a problem can be solved more than one way, I'm going to show you both ways now. Honestly, I would prefer the one-to-one property whenever you can use it because it requires you to become familiar with powers. So we can rewrite 512 as 2 to the 9th power. And then the one-to-one property tells us that if 2 to the x equals 2 to the 9th, then x equals 9. Now, inverse properties tells us that we can solve this a different way. If we have 2 to the x equals 512, then I can take log base 2 of both sides, and these cancel. And I have x equals log base 2 of 512, which, whether knowing by heart or by using your calculator, we can figure out x is 9. So now in part C, I can't use one-to-one property because I don't have e to a power on both sides. So I can isolate e to the x by saying e to the x equals 5. So now inverse property tells me that if I take ln of both sides, then ln e will cancel, and I have x equals ln 5. And they're not asking us to round to a certain amount of decimal places, so I'm going to keep that exact answer. Now, in part D, 9 to the x equals 1/3. So I can rewrite both of these as 3 to a power. This is 3 squared to the x equals 3 to the negative 1. So that's 3 to the 2x equals 3 to the negative 1. One-to-one property tells us 2x equals negative 1, or x equals negative 1/2. So now if I'm doing inverse properties, if I have 9 to the x equals 1/3, I can take log base 9 of both sides. And this log base 9 of 9 will cancel. And I'll have x equals log base 9 of 1/3. So 9 to what power equals 1/3? Well, I know the square root of 9 is 3. But since it's 1/3, that makes x equal to negative 1/2 to put it in that denominator.